What inspires me the most when I write music? Probably my ex-girlfriend.
Okay, so you're telling me Justin Bieber just dropped a brand new music video and half the internet is losing their minds because it looks way too familiar? And not just, oh wow, that's a cool coincidence. Familiar, I'm talking frame for frame deja vu, as in Selena Gomez deja vu. Yeah, I know, the Selena Gomez. But hold that thought. Because as messy as that is, it's nothing compared to what went down at Jeff Bezos' billionaire fairy tale wedding, where Sweeney apparently decided it was the perfect time to obliterate Kim Kardashian's ego in front of the most powerful people in the world. Oh, and yes, Tom was somehow part of it. I'm telling you, this wedding wasn't just champagne and fireworks, it was a full-on battlefield. Now, we could break these down calmly, rationally, with all the facts laid out. But where's the fun in that? No. I'm about to give you the real sequence of events. The eyebrow-raising coincidences, the whispers, the body language everyone's dissecting, and trust me, both of these stories spiral into way bigger drama than anyone's admitting publicly. Because here's the thing. Justin's video? It's not just about the visuals. There's layers here. Symbolism, callbacks, Easter eggs that feel too personal. And people are asking if this was a calculated message aimed at Selena, or if Justin's just out of original ideas. And Sydney? She didn't just shade Kim. Oh no. She went for the kind of dig that sticks. The kind that has receipts. The kind that makes you replay the clip over and over, zooming in like you're on CSI, Hollywood. And Kim's reaction. Let's just say, if looks could kill, Sydney wouldn't have made it to dessert. So buckle up. Because in the next few minutes, you're going to see exactly why Justin's new MV has fans screaming copy, and why Sydney Sweeney's name is now permanently etched into Kim Kardashian's burn book. And before you think these two stories are completely separate, let's just say Hollywood's not that big of a town. Some of the same faces show up in both dramas. And once you notice the overlap, you can't unsee it. We're talking shady Instagram likes, deleted comments, coincidental paparazzi photos, and a handful of very expensive wedding guests who might just be holding onto the juiciest gossip of 2025. By the end of this video, you'll either believe Justin's throwing subliminal jabs at his ex, or you'll think he's caught in the world's messiest creative coincidence. And as for Sydney versus Kim, you'll understand exactly why some guests left that wedding with their jaws on the floor, and why others left in full PR crisis mode. This isn't just celebrity gossip. This is Hollywood chess, and every move is calculated. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. It is free and help us bring you enjoyable content. And of course, watch till the end. What inspires me the most when I write music? Probably my ex-girlfriend. Sounds messy already, right? But if you think that's just me being dramatic for clicks, let me hit you with something even juicier. Breaking news. Justin Bieber is making major headlines right now, but not for the reason you'd expect. His brand new music video for Yukon is being called a blatant copy of none other than his ex, Selena Gomez's recent music style, and yes, you heard that right. Fans aren't whispering about it. They're shouting it from the digital rooftops, posting side-by-side comparisons, writing dissertations in the comment sections, and turning Twitter, X, into a chaotic pop culture courtroom. It's not just a few bored fans stirring the pot, this is trending territory. So, here's the tea you came for. Justin dropped his surprise music video for Yukon, and at first glance, it's all sweet, wholesome vibes. Black and white footage, his wife Hailey Bieber, their baby boy Jack Blues Bieber, who just turned 11 months old, the kind of aesthetic shots you'd expect from a family documentary, not necessarily a pop single. We're talking yacht scenes, baby giggles, Hailey kissing Justin's shoulder, wind in their hair, all those slow-motion romantic glances, basically Instagram goals on steroids. But fans with sharp eyes were quick to point out something major. Just a few weeks ago, Selena Gomez released her joint album with Benny Blanco, I Said I Love You First, and the visuals for that project were deeply personal, emotional, and, surprise, surprise, also featured her real-life boyfriend in the videos. Selena's approach was raw and intimate, weaving in moments of love, vulnerability, and everyday tenderness. Now, fast forward to Justin's Yukon, and you've got a black and white, emotionally driven, couple-centered production that feels eerily like a déjà vu moment. Coincidence? The fandom thinks not. And let's be real here, Justin is not known for constantly putting Hailey, and especially baby Jack, front and center in his creative projects. They've kept Jack's face out of the public eye most of the time, maintaining a layer of privacy that's unusual in the influencer era. So why now? Why this sudden willingness to showcase intimate family moments in such a stylized, emotional way? The timing feels suspiciously perfect if you've been following the Selena arc. And this is where the internet sleuths go wild. One fan snarked, "So Justin saw Selena drop a masterpiece with Benny and said, 'Let me just copy-paste, but make it yacht-themed.'" Another wrote, "This isn't a tribute to Hailey and Jack. This is a response to Selena showing off her love life. He's obsessed." And honestly, the lyrics aren't helping his case. Justin's chorus literally goes, "What would I do if I didn't love you, baby?" Which, while perfectly fine as a love song sentiment, mirrors the emotional intimacy Selena just served in her project. Both works are couple-driven, both pull back the curtain on private life, both are dripping in heavy emotions. The resemblance is too obvious for fans to brush off. Now here's where it gets interesting. This isn't the first time artists have been accused of mirroring an ex's style. In music history, exes have been both a muse and a measuring stick. Taylor Swift built an empire out of repurposing past relationships into hits. Drake has peppered cryptic references to old flames in his bars. Heck, Fleetwood Mac turned their entire internal drama into one of the greatest albums of all time. But what makes the Bieber-Gomez situation different is that we're dealing with two massive, hyper-scrutinized fan bases who have been locked in a digital Cold War for over a decade. The Yelena era may be long over, but the emotional residue is very much alive. For many fans, seeing Justin suddenly lean into an artistic lane Selena just occupied feels less like shared inspiration and more like pointed one-upmanship. And if you think this is just harmless speculation, remember how parasocial relationships work. When fans feel like they've grown up with these artists, they see every creative decision as a personal statement, every lyric as a hidden message. This is why the comments aren't just playful jabs, they're loaded with loyalty, history, and a dash of conspiracy theory energy. Some fans even suggest that Justin's Yukon release strategy was calculated to overlap with Selena's promo cycle, creating inevitable comparisons. Others think it's subconscious. Maybe Selena's work genuinely influenced him without him even realizing it. After all, art is a sponge. We absorb what's around us, especially when the person was once deeply embedded in our life. But that brings us to the bigger question. At what point does inspiration become imitation? The line is blurrier than a paparazzi shot taken from across the street. Creative work thrives on influence. Every chord progression, every camera angle, every aesthetic choice has been done before by someone. The key is how you remix it, how you inject your own fingerprint. And while Justin's yacht scenes and family focus could easily be defended as his own unique take, the proximity to Selena's similar release makes it a PR headache. The media is loving it, of course. Nothing sells like X drama in the pop world. Headlines practically write themselves. But let's zoom out from the gossip for a second and talk about why fans care so much. Music videos aren't just promotional tools anymore. They're cultural events, emotional statements, and fandom fuel. When an artist like Selena or Justin drops something deeply personal, it invites fans to connect on an intimate level. Seeing someone else, especially an ex, seemingly echo that approach feels, to the invested fan, like stepping into a conversation you weren't invited to. Add in the nostalgia for Yelena, and you've got a perfect storm of emotional investment. Remember, these were two people whose relationship was once the internet's favorite soap opera. They broke up, made up, broke up again, and every chapter was dissected in real time. Now they've moved on to new partners, but the audience hasn't fully let go. This is why, even years later, a stylistic overlap can feel loaded with subtext. But here's the kicker. This could actually be great for both of them. Controversy drives streams. Comparisons spark conversations. The algorithm loves drama. Whether Justin intended it or not, he's now part of a cultural moment that has people talking about Yukon in every corner of social media. And Selena? She gets the side benefit of renewed attention on her own project. In the end, the question of whether Justin is inspired by his ex or simply riding his own wave may never be answered definitively, and maybe that's the point. The ambiguity keeps the story alive. And if you've ever written a song, painted a picture, or even curated a perfect Instagram post after a breakup, you know that past relationships leave fingerprints all over our creative output, whether we mean them to or not. So is Justin Bieber copying Selena Gomez? Maybe, maybe not. But one thing's for sure, the intersection of love, art, and public perception is messier than ever, and we're all here for the show. So now it's your turn. Do you think this was pure inspiration, subconscious influence, or a calculated move? Drop your thoughts, share this with your fellow pop culture detectives, and keep your notifications on because in the world of celebrity music drama, the next plot twist is always just one music video away. In another news, buckle up because this is going to be one of those stories that makes you pause mid-scroll, blink twice, and then immediately send it to your group chat with, "Girl, read this." Picture it, Jeff Bezos' wedding, a scene straight out of a billionaire's fever dream, towering floral arches dripping with white orchids imported from God knows where, champagne flowing like someone just turned on a moat tap, and a guest list so stacked with A-listers it could have been the Met Gala's after-party. But amidst the sparkle, the yachts, and the drone light show spelling out forever, the real show wasn't on the dance floor. Nope. The main event was happening in real time at Table Drama Central, starring Kim Kardashian, Tom Brady, Sydney Sweeney, and a cocktail of awkward tension so thick you could cut it with a Swarovski-encrusted butter knife. Now, if you've been keeping up, and let's be real, you already know that Kim's not new to a messy headline. She's built an empire on controlling narratives, flipping bad press into product launches faster than you can say new drop. But this was different. This was the kind of bad press you can't slap a beige Skims bodysuit over and call it a day. Because while Kim was busy working the room, probably calculating which selfie angles would have the best lighting for her stories, Tom Brady was out here giving his undivided, laser-focused attention to none other than Sydney Sweeney. Yes, that's Sydney Sweeney, fresh off Hollywood's Golden Girl assembly line, glowing with that just-signed 3 movie deals energy and clearly having the time of her life. And Kim? Oh, she noticed. Don't let that poker face fool you. The whispers started almost instantly. One insider swears they saw Kim's jaw tighten every time Tom leaned in to say something to Sydney. Another claims Kim straight up abandoned her seat halfway through dinner just so she wouldn't have to watch Tom laugh at whatever cute little joke Sydney was telling. And if you think that's petty, hold on to your mimosa, because the tea doesn't stop there. Word on the street is that Kim wasn't just jealous of Sydney getting Tom's attention, she was furious over a much bigger betrayal. See, Kim had been cozying up to Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez for years, working her own billionaire charm offensive, dropping by yacht parties, taking those accidentally candid pap shots, all in the hopes of landing a massive investment in schemes. She wanted that Amazon money stamp of approval, the kind of backing that makes investors line up like they're waiting for a supreme drop. But guess what? Bezos went and dropped $1 billion, yes, with a B, into a lingerie brand tied to Sydney Sweeney. The audacity. That's not just a snub, that's a snub in 4K HDR, streamed live on Prime. And just when you think the night couldn't get more uncomfortable, it did. Rumor has it that after one too many sidelong glances from Tom, Kim tried to reassert her presence, think strategic hair flips, leaning in when cameras were nearby, and making sure her laugh carried across the table. But the vibe? Completely off. And that's when the meltdown whispers started. People are saying Kim left early, claiming she had another event. Translation: she was done being background noise at her own power play. Now here's where it gets messy in the classic Kim K way. Less than a week after the wedding, boom, Schemes surgery mask announcement. $50.50 for a face mask you can literally grab at CVS for under $40, or get a knockoff on Amazon for 10. But that's not the point. It never is. Kim's been running this distraction play for years. Remember the nipple bra? That conveniently appeared right when the internet was dragging her over some messy Kanye fallout. Suddenly, everyone forgot the drama and was talking about whether or not they'd buy a bra that made their nips look perky on demand. Now she's pulling the same move, but with a face mask that looks like it was stitched together from leftover scraps in the factory bin. And she only released it in brown and tan? Girl, you're not fooling anyone. The timing screams panic pivot. Because let's face it, the real headline here isn't the mask, it's that Kim got played at her own PR game. Tom Brady iced her out in public, Sydney Sweeney effortlessly took center stage, and Jeff Bezos poured his billion-dollar love into someone else's brand. And as if that's not enough, there's talk that Kim had been angling for a role in that much-whispered about Aryan Barbie project, something fresh to reposition her as a Hollywood player. But the casting went straight to Sydney. Younger, hotter, with none of the baggage that comes from 4 kids, Kanye's tabloid shadow, and a million think pieces about your relevance. The sting? Brutal. The optics? Even worse. And the fallout? Well, that's where things get really interesting. Because insiders are whispering that Kim's not ready to let this one go. She's been dropping not-so-subtle hints that there's still something between her and Tom, posting strategically vague captions, popping up at events he might attend, trying to keep that PR situationship alive in the public mind. But here's the kicker. Word is Tom straight up told her, "Don't hold my hand in public." Ouch! That's not romance. That's damage control. Which makes you wonder, is Kim really trying to keep this thing going, or is she just desperate to rewrite the wedding night narrative before it cements in the public consciousness? One thing's for sure, every time she tries to pull focus, someone else in this little triangle, or square if you count Bezos, manages to snatch the spotlight back. And with Sydney's star rising faster than a TikTok sound can go viral, Kim's usual tactics might not cut it this time. But don't think for a second she's done scheming. If there's one thing Kim Kardashian knows how to do, it's survive a PR nightmare. The question is, will the next move be bold enough to make us forget the Bezos wedding saga, or will it just give us more to talk about? Because let's be honest, the only thing more fun than watching a billionaire's wedding is watching the fallout when the guest list starts acting up. And something tells me this story isn't even close to over. So here's where the night at Jeff Bezos's wedding goes from awkward to legendary disaster you can't scrub from page 6. Picture Kim Kardashian arriving in a dress that probably costs more than the average car, face beat to absolute perfection, hair so glossy it's practically reflecting the chandelier light back into space. She knows all eyes are on her, and she thrives in that space, except, for the first time in years, the energy isn't sticking to her. You could almost see the PR panic start to bubble under the surface when she realized Tom Brady was locked into conversation with Sydney Sweeney like they were the only 2 people in the room. We're talking intense eye contact, laughing at everything the other says, those little shoulder touches that scream, "I'm engaged in you right now," the stuff you can't fake. And Kim? She was giving that classic, "I'm smiling, but internally I'm on fire" look. Word from one table over is that Kim tried to insert herself into the convo more than once, dropping a comment here, a laugh there, but Tom kept pivoting back to Sydney. That's when the real shade started to fly. Because as much as Kim loves to control her own image, she's not immune to those microaggressions of social hierarchy, like when the server refilled Sydney's glass before hers, or when the photographer caught Tom and Sydney mid-laugh, but cropped Kim out entirely. Now here's the wild part. This isn't just about a man. For Kim, this is about dominance. About being the focal point. And in that room, for the first time in a long time, she wasn't. And that's dangerous territory for a Kardashian, because the second they're not controlling the narrative, someone else is. Cue the nuclear-level jealousy. A source swears that during one of the speeches, Kim leaned over to someone at her table and said, "It's cute she's having her moment," in that tone that means, "Enjoy it while it lasts, sweetie." But here's the gag, Sydney didn't just have a moment. She owned the whole damn night. And when Bezos' team unveiled his investment news, that billion-dollar lingerie deal, and it turned out to be tied to Sydney's world, that was the dagger. Kim had been grooming that Bezos relationship for years. Yacht trips, helicopter rides, perfectly staged paparazzi moments with Lauren Sanchez, playing the long game for a Schemes Amazon mega collab. And in one night, Jeff handed the golden ticket to someone else. It wasn't just a no, it was a "we're taking your whole playbook and giving it to the new girl." And this is where Kim's infamous crisis mode kicks in. The mask drop wasn't just random, it was the Kardashian distraction playbook 101. When the headlines are ugly, flood the feed with something weird, shiny, or memeable. The nipple bra? That was time to drown out backlash over Kanye's latest chaos. The Marilyn Monroe dress stunt? That was to shift focus from her breakup with Pete Davidson. This time, it's a $50.50 surgery mask that looks like it was stitched from the scraps of last season's Schemes loungewear. Only 2 colors, rich beige and mocha, because apparently skincare should match your sofa. And while some people will buy it for the clout, the real purpose is to give the blogs something else to chew on. But the internet's not falling for it this time. Instead of forgetting the Bezos wedding drama, people are side-eyeing the mask drop as proof she's spiraling. And to make it messier, more leaks keep coming. One insider claims Kim was actually counting on that wedding to hard launch whatever was going on between her and Tom Brady. She wanted photos, whispers, the whole PR package. Instead, Tom apparently told her ahead of time, "Don't hold my hand in public." Translation: this isn't what you think it is. And you know that had to sting. Because let's be real, Kim knows how to run a PR situationship better than anyone. But this time, the man's not playing along. And without his participation, it just looks like she's chasing a story that isn't there. Meanwhile, Sydney's out here thriving. Booking roles. Fronting campaigns. Being the fresh face everyone wants at their table. And that's the other thing that's killing Kim. Sydney represents everything Hollywood still drools over. Young, blonde, bubbly, no public baggage. And yes, that includes no 4 kids with a controversial ex baggage. There's also buzz that Sydney's team is loving every second of this drama because it positions her as the one who outshined Kim Kardashian at Jeff Bezos' wedding. That's the kind of viral headline you can't buy. And Bezos? He's not looking back. That billion-dollar lingerie move wasn't just business, it was a signal. The power players have a new favorite, and her name's not Kim. Now here's where we go from messy to petty. The day after the wedding, Kim allegedly sent a friendly DM to Sydney congratulating her on the lingerie deal. But the tone? Let's just say multiple people described it as so sugary it gave us cavities. Sydney didn't reply. And if you know Hollywood etiquette, you know that's a move. By week 2, Kim's dropping cryptic IG captions about knowing your worth and people forgetting who built the table. Classic subtext for, "I'm not mad, but I'm mad." And while the Schemes mask is getting its promo push, gossip accounts are still running with the Bezos wedding story, complete with blurry phone videos of Tom leaning in way too close to Sydney while Kim stares into the distance like she's mentally firing her entire PR team. And just when you think Kim might retreat and regroup, she doubles down. Pap shots of her casually leaving the same restaurant Tom was spotted at 30 minutes earlier. A strategically timed TMZ leak about new projects with unnamed sports figures. It's giving desperation, but in Kim's mind, it's giving "I'm still in the game." Except here's the plot twist. Someone close to Tom swears he's over the whole circus. He's focused on post-NFL business moves, not getting roped into Kardashian drama. Which means every time Kim tries to stitch him into the narrative, it just looks more forced. And that's dangerous, because once the public smells inauthenticity, the magic's gone. The last time Kim looked this pressed in public? The whole Taylor Swift snake era. And we all know how that played out. Now the question is, can Kim spin this before it cements as the night she got iced out at Bezos' wedding? Or is this the moment the Hollywood elite starts moving on without her? One thing's for sure, if she's planning a big countermove, it's coming soon. Because in this game, silence isn't golden, it's fatal. And Kim Kardashian? She's not going down quietly. Not now. Not ever.